What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. In this video, I'm going to do a penetration test with my 416 Ruger elephant gun. And I'm going to be shooting at some 1/2 inch 3-ply southern yellow pine plywood. This is standard plywood that carpenters use when they build homes for exterior walls. And the purpose of the test is to see how many sheets of plywood the 416 Ruger can penetrate through. And the way that I set up the plywood is I cut some plywood into 1 foot by 1 foot squares, and I screw all of the squares together, and then I shoot at the plywood. And the rifle I'm going to be using in this test is my Ruger M77 Hawkeye guide gun, and it's chambered in 416 Ruger. It's got a 20-inch barrel, and I have done a lot of chronograph tests with this rifle, and I can confirm that the velocities printed on the boxes of the most popular 416 Ruger ammo is accurate with this 20-inch barrel. There's a lot of rumors on the internet that say that with the 20-inch barrel Ruger guide gun, you're not going to get 2,400 feet per second with a 400 grain bullet, and I have proved that rumor to be false, as most rumors are false. So if you want to see the chronograph tests that I've done, I'll leave a link in the top right corner of this video. I have an Athlon 1-to-6 power scope on here. I have these custom night sights made by Tool Tech gun sight, and I have tritium vials in the front sight and in the rear sight, so I can use this thing in the dark if I have to. At some point in the future, I plan to go on some gold expeditions to Alaska, and that's why I bought this rifle. One of the reasons why I bought this rifle: for bear protection in Alaska, for bear hunting in Alaska, for bear hunting here in the lower 48, and also for an African safari, hopefully many African safaris. I really want to go after Cape Buffalo. And check out this cartridge cuff that I have to hold some reloads made by Mason Leather. And I've done detailed reviews of their cartridge cuffs. But if you want to get a 10% off discount, use the promo code NY10 when you check out. Their website is www.masonleather.com, and all of these products are made in the USA and veteran owned. Okay, so you're supporting a veteran, you're supporting a small business. And here's the 416 Ruger stamped on the barrel. Ruger M77 Hawkeye Athlon 1-to-6 power scope. I've put a couple hundred rounds through this rifle. No issues with the scope, no issues with the rifle. Super accurate. I get at least half MOA accuracy, if not better, if I'm doing my part. So I absolutely love this rifle, and this is what we're going to use for the test. Now, the ammunition I'm going to be using in this test is I'm going to test the Buffalo Bore Dangerous Game 416 Ruger. It's a 350 grain monolithic metal bullet, and it travels at around 2,650 feet per second, and it generates around 5,500 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. And I have chronograph tested this load, and I can confirm that I get around 2,675 feet per second out of this 20-inch barrel Ruger guide gun. So look at this beautiful bullet here, flat nose, solid copper alloy, 416 Ruger, just tons of power, 5,500 foot-pounds of muzzle energy, guys. That is just absolutely crazy. And the other load I'm going to be testing is the Dangerous Game Hornady 400 grain Dangerous Game expanding bonded bullet. And so this is a steel jacketed soft point It's a flat nose, but it's a soft point, and the lead core is some type of a hard alloy lead core, and it has a steel jacket that's bonded to the lead core. Okay, so this thing penetrates pretty deep and it gets really good expansion. Okay, now this is a 40 caliber bullet, so even without expansion it's making a huge hole, but when this thing expands it leaves a massive wound channel. So let's see what kind of penetration we get with these two rounds, guys. Okay, one of them a solid, one of them a soft point in plywood. Let's see how many sheets of plywood these will go through. Take a guess, and I hope you enjoy the video. Alright guys, 416 Ruger versus plywood. First shot's going to be the Buffalo Bore 350 grain monometal, and the second shot is going to be the Hornady 400 grain dangerous game expanding bonded steel jacketed bullet. Let's see how many sheets of plywood these can penetrate through. Alright guys, I got some good hits on those, but I want to take two more shots. So same thing, first shot's going to be the mono metal from Buffalo Bore, second shot's going to be the dangerous game expanding bonded. All right, guys, so I want to go over the results of the test now. So the 416 Ruger Buffalo Bore 350 grain monometal with a muzzle velocity of 2,675 feet per second and a muzzle energy of 5,500 foot-pounds penetrated through 59 sheets of half-inch 3-ply Southern Yellow Pine plywood. That's standard sheathing plywood that builders use when they build a house in the United States. That's the plywood that they put on the outside walls, okay, of a house. 59 sheets. That's a lot of plywood, guys. That's absolutely insane. If you do the math, that's 30 inches of wood, okay? 30 inches of wood. That is just crazy. Still not as much as the 400 grain Dangerous Game Solid. And when I did the test with that one, it penetrated through 75 sheets, guys. That is just absolutely insane. So I want to go through all of these sheets with you. Also, the Dangerous Game Expanding Bonded from Hornady. That one penetrated only through 18 and 17 sheets. I was actually very surprised by that. I was expecting at least 25 or 30, but no, it only penetrated through 18 to 17 sheets, which is just one or two more sheets more than a 308 soft point out of my AR-10 with a 16-inch barrel. So that was pretty interesting. So I want to go through all these sheets of plywood with you now. So we had our 2 shots here with the Buffalo Bore 350 grain monometal, and then we had our 2 shots here with the Dangerous Game Expanding Bonded. So what I did was I screwed the sheets into blocks of 6 sheets, and then I screwed those blocks together. So this is the first block of 6 sheets. And what's really impressive with that Dangerous Game Expanding Bonded is the expansion. Look at that expansion, guys. Those holes are just absolutely huge. I mean, I can fit my whole finger in them. So anything hit by that is not going to survive. Look at those massive, massive exit holes, okay, in this first block of 6 sheets. You can actually see right there, okay, this top hole up here. If you look closely, you can actually see the entrance hole, how small that entrance hole is compared to the exit hole. This exit hole is probably 1.25 inches in diameter. That is just absolutely impressive. And here we have our second block of 6 sheets. So look at the entrance holes here in this second block. This is the 7th sheet. Huge entrance holes, guys. Look at that. Compared to my thumb, I mean, that entrance hole is just absolutely massive, and I have huge hands. I'm not a small guy at all. Look at that entrance hole, guys. That is just impressive. So whatever gets hit by that round is going to be bleeding a whole lot, okay? And look at these exit holes here, still passing through all of that wood, even after expanding to a massive diameter, still passing through. This is the back of the 12th sheet here, okay? Massive exit hole. Look at that, all right? So moving on, here we have the 13th sheet, and then here we have our 2 shots from the Buffalo Bore 350 grain solids, and you can see obviously no expansion at all, just a tiny little hole there. All right, but look at these 2 entrance holes here on the 13th sheet of plywood. That is just absolutely insane. Compared to the size of my thumb, you're looking at probably 1.5 inches of an entrance hole there. Here we have the 14th sheet, and just look at this hole. I mean, this is just crazy. Look at that. Just absolutely insane, okay? And here we have the 15th sheet. Okay, look at that, guys. That is crazy. Here we have the 16th sheet. All right, still going strong. And then here we have the 17th sheet, and one of our bullets got stuck here in the 17th sheet, and it poked out the back of the 17th sheet, and it probably would have still kept going if there wasn't another sheet of plywood here. So we're going to say 17 sheets for this one. And check that out. Look at how it's poking out of that sheet there, okay? And then here we have the 18th sheet, and you can see one stuck here in the 18th sheet, and you can see it poked out the back of the 18th sheet. You can see one of the petals there. This is a steel jacketed bullet, guys. Just absolutely crazy. So we're going to say 18 sheets for this one. And I'm going to pull these bullets out of the wood, and we're going to take a closer look. Here's the 19th sheet. Okay, you can see massive dent here and here too. But we still have our 350 grain solid going through. Here we have the 20th sheet. Here we have sheet 21. All right, still going. Here we have sheet 22, our 350 grain solids there. Here we have sheet 23, sheet 24. And then here we have a block of 6. This is sheets 25 through 30. Okay, these are our 2 shots here with the 350 grain solid. And here are our exit holes. This is the 30th sheet here, the exit hole on the 30th sheet. Here we have our next block of 6. This is sheets 31 through 36. Here are our 2 holes here. Here's the back of the 36th sheet. Okay. And then here we have another block of 6. This is sheets 37 through 42. Here's our 2 shots there. And here's the exit holes there, back of the 42nd sheet. Here we have another block of 6. This is sheets 43 through 48. You can see the 2 entrance holes there in the 43rd sheet. And then here we have 2 exit holes here in the 48th sheet. And then here we have the 49th sheet. There's the 50th sheet. 51. 52. 53. 54. And here we have 55 and 56 being held together by one of the solids. And you can see it poked through the back of the 56th sheet. So if there wasn't another sheet of plywood against it, it probably would have just kept going through. So 56 sheets for this one. And I'm going to pull this out, and we're going to take a closer look at it. Here we have sheets 57, 58, and 59 all being held together by one of these bullets here. Okay, these bullets are extremely long, but there's the nose poking out of the back of the 59th sheet. You can see it's poking out quite a bit there. It's not just barely poking out, it's poking out with authority. So I'm going to recover all of these bullets now, and we're going to take a closer look at them. We're going to weigh them to see what kind of weight retention we got. We're going to take some measurements, see what kind of expansion we got, and we're going to take a closer look to see if there's any deformation. So stick around. All right, guys, so I recovered the bullets. I want to give you guys a closer look, and we're going to measure them and check the weight retention. These were the 2 Dangerous Game expanding bonded bullets, steel jacketed bullets with a bonded hard alloy lead core. Look at these beautiful bullets, guys. Perfect mushroom, everything held together. And look at how thick the petals are on this bullet. Okay, normally those petals are really thin, but you can see those petals are really thick. And that's because those petals are made of steel. Okay, they're not made of traditional copper or gilding metal. Okay, this is actually a steel jacketed bullet. And look at that lead core there. just completely flattened out and mushroomed, and the expansion is just insane. So the one on the right is the one that penetrated through 18 sheets, and the one on the left is the one that penetrated through 17 sheets. I don't see that any of the petals broke off or anything. I mean, look at how thick that petal is, guys. Look at that right there. Super thick. Just steel. Absolutely insane. And this probably wouldn't even expand if it hit like a deer or something. You know, you need some kind of dense material for these bullets to really expand well, because they are steel jacketed. Look at that steel jacket there. Absolutely insane. So before we measure the expansion, let's first check the weight retention. So I have my reloading scale here, and I zeroed it out. I have a 100-gram weight just to make sure we're zeroed out. So we're at 100.01 or 02. And let's see how many grains we retained. So 379 grains for the one that penetrated through 17 sheets, so only lost 21 grains. I'd say that's really good. Check that out, guys. That's just crazy. And then the one that penetrated through 18 sheets, let's see what kind of weight retention we got. Wow, 352.9 grains. That's interesting. So it actually retained less weight than the one that penetrated less. That's pretty interesting. Now, you can see there's a bunch of like sawdust mixed in with this bullet here, so that could throw off the weight retention figure. But more or less between 353 grains to 380 grains of weight retention, I'd say that's pretty good. And then here are our 350 grain solids, and obviously no deformation whatsoever. And I have done a test with these against 2x10 lumber. If you want to check that out, I'll leave a link to that video in the top right corner. But these penetrated through 24 pieces of Douglas fir 2x10 framing lumber. That is just absolutely insane. That's 36 inches of wood. That's just crazy. So this was the one that penetrated through 59 sheets. And I'll just give you guys a close look. You can see everything looks good. Okay, nose looks good. Back looks good. The base, everything looks good. Let's see how much weight retention. 350.0 exact. So 100% weight retention there. And this was the one that penetrated through 56 sheets. 349.5. So 100% weight retention as expected on both of these. I just want to show you guys how long these bullets are. These bullets are really long, okay? So I'm just going to measure the length here so you guys can see how long they are. 1.32 inches long. That's a long bullet, guys. That is just crazy. That's almost as long as a .44 Magnum. That's crazy. So 1.3 inches in length. Just crazy long bullets. Let's measure the expansion on these now. So here we got one. And let's try to get the widest part just to be fair. Wow, look at that. 0.89 inches. 0.9 inches of expansion, almost an inch of expansion, guys. This bullet literally doubled, more than doubled in diameter. That is just crazy. Look at that, guys. Can you imagine the wound channel that this thing creates? Absolutely insane. And with that steel jacket, you're just going to plow through anything in your way, bones, dense muscle tissue, whatever. And that's what these bullets are designed for taking down the most dangerous animals on the planet. So you need big, tough bullets for that. Pretty insane. So let's measure the other one. And here we got 3/4 of an inch of expansion on this one. And let's measure the other side. 0.806. So that's pretty impressive. So that's pretty much it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more 416 Ruger content, check out my 416 Ruger playlist. I'll leave a link in the top right corner of this video. If you want to see more plywood penetration tests, I'll leave a link in the top right corner as well. And I'll also leave a link to my lumber penetration tests. But thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere.